Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Wellness Hour. I'm your host, Onika McCoy, and remember, this is your trusted source for health and wellness information. And the Wellness Hour is brought to you by the Ministry of Health, Wellness, and Elderly Affairs in collaboration with Hot 7 TV, and it is sponsored by the Caribbean Development Bank and the Inter-American Development Bank. And we do have a very informative and packed show for you today, so thank you so much for joining us. And of course, we're also observing today as World No Alcohol Day. And our guest this morning will be Mrs. Sharon Stephen, and she is the program lead for Turning Point Treatment and Rehabilitation Center. And we will be discussing alcohol treatment, breaking the stigma. As I said, a very important and informative topic, as today is recognized globally as World No Alcohol Day. So to kick off our show this morning, we're going to take a look back at some of the programs and initiatives hosted by the Ministry of Health. And to start off, we know that staff of the St. Jude Hospital, the housekeeping department, they participated in a rigorous 4-day training in preparation for the imminent move to their new site at the OG facility. So again, groundbreaking news coming from the St. Jude Hospital, and we're going to take a look at that video news report.
St. Jude Hospital announced the launch of a specialized housekeeping training program designed to ensure a seamless transition and the highest standards of care at its new OG facility. The program will equip environmental services staff with enhanced skills in hygiene, infection prevention, and teamwork. The training is a core component of the hospital's operational readiness plan. While focused on housekeeping staff, it will include integrated sessions for ward maids and laundry personnel to ensure aligned practices across all cleaning and linen workflows. The facilitator of the program is Dr. Tekla Fitzlewis.
I find the staff basically at St. Jude's are very good employees. They're very resilient. Let's look at the conditions they have been working under for the past 16 years. And I really commend the current government under Honorable Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre to have the vision and the foresight to finally finish the hospital, to ensure that they can move to the OG site, because some of the conditions that they have worked under at the stadium is not conducive to international standards. And here they are now going to move into a facility with new and up-to-date equipment, and they have to be ready.
Chief Executive Officer of St. Jude Hospital, Lydia Atkins, says environmental services are foundational to patient safety, and this training is central to the commissioning plan.
As we prepare to move to our new facility in OG, even as we recognize what has brought us here today, it is one that I'm hoping can be built on the resilience that you've shown at the stadium. But as you continue to place focus and emphasis on standards, that the training, which is mandatory for all laundry, housekeeping, and ward maids, is one that will give you an arsenal, a toolkit that would allow for St. Jude Hospital to continue to put safety, patient safety first.
The program was delivered in 2 cohorts. Cohort 1, September 9th to 10th, 2025, and Cohort 2, September 11th to 12th, 2025. One participant expressed her views on the training and what it would mean for those who are transitioning to the new OG site.
The training was good, especially as we're about to move to our new location, our transition to the new St. Jude's Hospital. Information today received today, it's always good to practice whatever you've been taught, practice it regular, and share it with others, teach it to others, other workers, and whoever needs the information.
Key training objectives included implementing advanced cleaning protocols and infection prevention measures across all hospital zones, managing waste streams including sharps and pharmaceutical waste with strict segregation and disposable guidelines, enhancing professional conduct, communication, and customer service skills, utilizing quality assurance tools and self-audits for continuous improvement. St. Jude Hospital has partnered with Lewis Management Consultancy Services, LMCS, a registered corporate training provider with over 40 years of combined expertise in cleaning operations, infection control, and quality systems for the healthcare sector. Jade Brown, St. Jude Hospital.
So more great positive news coming out from the St. Jude Hospital as they get ready soon enough to move across to the OG facility. And as I mentioned earlier on, when we began, today is observed globally as World No Alcohol Day. It is recognized annually on October 2nd, and it is a moment to pause and reflect on the profound impact alcohol has had on our lives, on our health, our relationships, how we celebrate, how we socialize, and how we cope with life's stresses. Now, this year's theme is Enjoy More, and it is a call to rediscover the fullness of life without alcohol. It invites us to embrace the countless sources of joy, authentic connections, vibrant experiences, and true freedom that comes from living alcohol-free. And right now we're going to take a look back at our health statement, which was done by Ms. Rosalind Mafre, who is the Program Officer for Substance Abuse Advisory Council Secretariat. And she's doing the special address for World No Alcohol Day. So let's take a look at that statement.
Rosalind Mafre, Program Officer. World No Alcohol Day, which is observed on October 2nd annually, offers an opportunity to reflect on the impact alcohol has had in shaping our health, how we celebrate, socialize, and navigate the challenges and the stresses that life presents. This year's theme, Enjoy More, appeals to us to rediscover the vast world of joy, connections, vibrant experiences, and freedom that alcohol-free life can offer. This observation is not a platform to judge or shame anyone. Rather, it allows us to pause and to reflect on our choices, our quality of life, and the things we value and protect, including our health, our families, and our future. Alcohol abuse is a leading risk factor for chronic diseases. In St. Lucia, the health of our nation is challenged largely by these conditions, many of which are shaped by what we eat, how we move, and yes, what we drink. It also contributes to accidents, injuries, improper decisions, and acts of violence. Beyond the physical toll, alcohol abuse has a devastating impact on mental health, relationships, and the overall fabric of our communities. For too long, the narrative around alcohol has been one of social necessity. We have seen and learned that a drink is required to celebrate, to relax, to connect, and to have fun. But it is possible to find joy daily and have a great time during special occasions without the use of alcohol. For those of you who may be struggling with alcohol, please know that you are not left alone to cope. Help is available. Abusing alcohol is not a sign of weakness. It's a health issue. And just like any other health issue, it can be treated. We have a dedicated network of support systems ready to assist you on your journey to recovery. You can visit the nearest wellness center in your community or a doctor. Turning Point Drug and Alcohol Rehabilitation Center offers professional and compassionate care. There are trained individuals within the departments of the Ministry of Health who are available to provide guidance and support. Support groups can connect you to others who understand what you're going through, such as local Alcoholics Anonymous groups. Taking the first step is often the hardest part, but it's also the most courageous. Please reach out. Remember, every day is a chance to start fresh, to make a choice that supports your health and happiness.
And again, that was our program officer at the Substance Abuse Advisory Council Secretariat, Ms. Rosalind Maffre, giving the official health statement as we observe today as World No Alcohol Day. And we're going to take a quick break. Of course, when we come back, our lovely guest joining us is Mrs. Sharon Stephen. She's the program lead for Turning Point Treatment and Rehabilitation Center. And the topic we will be discussing this morning is alcohol treatment, breaking the stigma. So please stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Every bed in our hospitals tells a story of someone's mother, someone's brother, someone's friend. And when that story of care is complete, it's time for the next chapter, home. But too often, discharged patients are left waiting hours, days, weeks, sometimes months, not because they want to stay, but because no one comes. We understand life gets busy, but every extra day they wait means another patient, perhaps in pain, perhaps in crisis, can't get the bed they desperately need. So when the call comes that your loved one is ready, please be ready too. Pick them up, bring them back to the comfort of family, where healing truly continues. Because caring doesn't end at discharge, it continues with you. A message from the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs.
We are working parents,
and we breastfed both babies exclusively.
Moi fais 6 chiches, moi ba yo tout tete ki yo tout ni bon sevel.
Mother's breast milk is naturally the best milk for baby. Love yourself and love your baby.
We were breastfed and we are healthy.
Breastfeeding saves me money and it's free.
Every moment I breastfeed strengthens the bond between me and my baby.
I breastfed twin boys and lost all my baby fat.
We were breastfed
and we have breast milk power.
I am Pastor Alvin and I support breastfeeding.
For more information, call the Nutrition Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 468-5359.
Trans fats are either naturally occurring or industrially produced. Industrially produced trans fats are made by adding hydrogen to vegetable oils to make them solid. These oils become hydrogenated oils and can be found in the nutrition facts of certain products. Look closely in the ingredients list for hydrogenated oils, which would indicate that the product contains trans fats.
This message is brought to you by the Nutrition Unit of the Ministry of Health, Wellness and Elderly Affairs.
Yes. That was the Lucia Top 5 for Carnival 2025. Yes. Welcome back to Real Men Take Charge, guys. Real Men Check Up.
To all my listeners out there, visit a men's health clinic in your area today.
PSA checkups are now free.
It's private, it's quick, it's efficient, and convenient.
Music touches the soul, but health keeps the rhythm going. Fellas, it's time to check your PSA levels. It's free, it's simple, it can save your life.
Brothers, do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit? Let us be wise stewards of our lives. Prostate test saves lives. Let us not wait until it is too late.
To be a champion, you need to show up for yourself. I'm encouraging every man to take the step. Get checked. Stay strong. Do it for the team. Do it for your family.
My daddy is a hero, and I want him around for a very long time. Daddy, if you care about me, please take care of your health.
I faced colon and prostate cancer head on, and I'm still standing. Early detection saved my life. If I can do it, so can you. Don't wait. Get tested. It's free, it's simple, and it will definitely save your life also.
Real men.
Real men.
Real men take charge.
Real men check up.
And welcome back to the Wellness Hour. Thank you so much for staying with us. And again, as I mentioned before we took the break in the beginning of the program, today is recognized globally as World No Alcohol Day. And so we have a very special guest joining us, Mrs. Sharon Stephen, and she's the program lead for the Turning Points Treatment and Rehabilitation Center. And today she'll be discussing with us alcohol treatment, breaking the stigma, a very informative and very important topic. So at this moment, I'd like to say a special good morning to Mrs. Stephen, and thank you for taking time out of your schedule, Mrs. Stephen, to join us here on the Wellness Hour. It is a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Great. Mrs. Stephen, just as we begin, could you just tell us a little bit about what you do as a program lead?
Okay, I'm currently based at Turning Point, like you said, and currently I provide some supervision for the staff at Turning Point. We are a rehabilitation center, and we have attendants, we have nurses, we have counselors, social workers. We work together as a team, and I am there to provide some type of supervision. I also oversee the program and ensure that the program is evidence-based, and that we are providing the best possible treatment that we can to our clients.
Well said. Very impressive, Mrs. Stevens. So you carry many hats, and it is a very holistic program.
Yeah.
So as we get right into it, and on the observance of World No Alcohol Day, when we think of the broad term alcohol dependence, Mrs. Stephen, what can you give us an overview of exactly what is alcohol dependence, what it entails when we hear of that term? I wouldn't say it's something that's used lightly, but the significance of the term and what it means.
Okay, so alcohol dependence is often misunderstood, but I believe by breaking down the misconceptions, I believe that by sharing accurate information, we can create a more supportive and a more compassionate society. What happens is that sometimes we see people who would drink, and as soon as they drink, people would say that they are dependent on alcohol. There's a difference between being addicted to alcohol and also a dependence on alcohol. And yes, the dependence on alcohol is like you want it, you crave it, but there are some people who are so addicted that they cannot do without it. Yes, so we have that right here in St. Lucia, and I'm happy that it is something that is being addressed on World No Alcohol Day, because it is a very serious issue and it is something that needs to be tackled now.
So So, Mr. Stephen, would you say it is more of a health condition as opposed to some sort of like moral failing of that sort?
Yes, not until recently. There was a time I too thought that it was just a moral failure, right? I thought that, you know, they had a choice. They chose to drink. They could have said no. And I too saw it as just a moral failure. But not until I actually started studying and I found myself in the position that I am right now. I started looking up the different research and the different scientific studies that are there to support that an addiction is not just a moral failure, but basically a health condition. And there are many reasons why they can, there are reasons to support that. Because if we were to just look at alcohol as a moral failure, we would have to think of where do genetics fall, right? Because there are people who are more prone to becoming, having an addiction to alcohol because of their genetics. We could also think of environmental factors, right? We could also think of their personal experiences. All that can push you into having an addiction or wanting, you know, crave for that alcohol. So we can say, and not just us saying, the World Health Organization, as well as the American Psychiatric Association, they too are also agreeing that it is not a moral failure, it is a health condition. Because you would find that the alcohol at one point would actually hijack your brain to the point that you are no longer aware or you no longer have control over what you're doing.
Wow, that's very important to know, and I'm happy that we were able to break down the dependence and the addiction. And when you think of alcohol dependence, how does it affect not just, you know, the person who is experiencing this, but you think of society, their family, even the workplace as well?
Okay, so one of the things that we need to establish this morning is that when society frames alcohol dependence as a bad behavior or weakened character, it creates stigma. And this is what we will be discussing a little as we move on. Right? But society looking at alcohol, it has an effect not just on the individual himself, but it has an effect on the family, it has effects on the community, it has effect on the nation on a whole. Right? And I'm hoping that we can discuss this a little later as well. But seeking treatment for alcohol, dependence offers individual a path where they can heal themselves, they can rebuild their lives. So yes, society is affected, and I think what we are doing here today is we are on the right track because we need to educate society, we need to educate the family, we need to educate ourselves on the impact of let me say substance abuse today, but I know that we are focusing on alcohol. We need to educate society on that because when we have information, we are better equipped to deal with our situations.
Well said, Mrs. Stephen. And for me, I just needed to know, alcohol dependence, is it something that does it become a permanent condition? You know, what is in place for, is it something that you recover from, or do you always, would you always have it and then you try to control or manage it?
Well, alcohol, I will say there's what we call the recovery process. So alcohol is not something, alcohol dependence is not something where you snap your finger and immediately some people get out of it. Yes, they may have some people who have that willpower and they may be able to do it. But I believe, and I have seen, that with the support of the services that are made available, people with alcohol issues, they have overcome. They are able to overcome. So we cannot sit and just look at it as something that they will never get over. Many people have gotten over it with the support of maybe rehabilitation services, medication. We can also look at support groups where they had that type of support, whether it's through a group or community-wise, through the wellness community centers. But as long as the support is available, it is quite possible that people with addiction can recover.
Well said. I'm very happy about that because again, it's important that we break the stigma. And I think many times as individuals, when we don't have the right information or the proper background about something, we tend to judge people a lot. We judge our family members, we judge our peers, we judge our co-workers, not truly understanding, what they're going through. And just, knowing that it's more of a health condition than a moral feeling just helps you to understand that, we need to be each other's keeper and we need to support everyone, and everybody needs a different type of support. Now, Mrs. Stephen, what would you say to people who might believe that, maybe the rehabilitation or the treatment may not be as effective?
Okay, so let me just answer this question. There are many people who still doubt the need for rehabilitation. There are many people who have given up on people with alcohol dependence. There are many people who would not speak anything positive about these people, but I would let them know that we have seen it, and I know there are many lived experiences. There are many persons out there who can testify today that they had an issue, they had alcohol issues, and today they are sober for over 20 years, over 30 years. So we need to establish today that yes, there is support and rehab, and along with medication support, it can assist. But I also need to just throw in something here.
Yes, please.
In reality, alcohol dependence is similar to other chronic illnesses, such as diabetes or hypertension. And some people may not want to accept alcohol dependence as a health condition. But if we were to look at alcohol dependence, it is something, yes, it was a bad choice maybe, but remember we spoke about genetics. So it may have been a bad choice, yes, but in the same way, when we look at diabetes, it's also a lifestyle choices.
Definitely.
Yes, so what happened, you would find that somebody with diabetes would go to the doctor, and they would get all the support that they need, right? True. They would provide them with medication, they would provide them with the assistance, and sometimes this diabetes is an ongoing chronic illness, but yet still we do not stigmatize them or look down on them. And people with alcohol dependence, they are usually looked down upon because theirs too is an ongoing process. True. Now there are people who would say that, rehab is not working, medication is not working, but how about if we look at it, if we flip it the other side, right? And don't look at it like rehab is not working, but just look at it at this point, they were not ready for the rehabilitation processes yet, right? Because sometimes you find that the client themselves or the individual, they may need to be at the point where they are saying, I want assistance. I want to make that change. Now, some of us, what we do, we push them into it, and maybe they are not at that point yet. So they would come into rehab or they would get the support, and it would not work for them immediately. But what you get is that people would be quick to say, oh, rehab didn't work, or the program wasn't good. It may not be the program. I'm not saying there are times probably the program needs some type of, need to be more evidence-based and more support, right? But there are times too when the client is not ready. Some of them have to be at that point where I want to make that change. So it's not that the rehab is not working or the program is not working or the doctor is not doing a good job. It's just that maybe the client is not at that point yet for that assistance.
Very, very important point you made there, Mrs. Stephen. And a different way to look at it, is that person truly ready, willing and available? Because yes, you can give them the treatment options, you can maybe tailor something to them, but then if, like you said, their mindset, if they're not ready, then they might not see, the benefits or the success of the treatment. And when we speak of the treatment and rehabilitation, Mrs. Stephen, what is available in terms of the treatment and rehabilitation? Is it structured, per person in terms of what every unique individual is faced with?
By right, this is what it is supposed to be, yes. We do have the rehabilitation center where we provide the program for the clients. However, every client coming into treatment, they are different, individuals in different ways. Their needs may be different. And as a reason, you would have to provide an individual treatment plan for each client. So yes, there's we would follow. There was this thing that we would follow. However, each client would need an individualized treatment plan that would show their strengths and weaknesses, their goal, and what they hope to achieve at the end of the program. So yes, each person would require that.
Okay. And at what point do you normally see people, I guess, maybe accepting the point they've reached and realizing that they need help? Is it normally somebody on the outside, maybe a family member, co-worker, you know, telling them they should seek help, or do they normally on their own make that decision?
Well, we do get what we call referrals, and you will get self-walk-in, self-referrals. You get referrals from the wellness center stating that this person needs assistance.
Okay.
You also get assistance from family, from the community, and even the workplaces refer individuals when they realize the client has that need. But like I said early on, some of these clients, they would come because maybe they are feeling pressured, maybe they want to, but they are not at the point yet where they really want that help, and it makes it a bit difficult. The clients would come into rehab, and you could see the difference in people that have what we call hit rock bottom, and they are saying, you know, that is it, this lifestyle is affecting my family, it's affecting my job. If I don't do this, I'm going to lose my job. If I don't do this, I will lose my wife and my children, I will lose my house. So there are people that come to us and they're already at this point. And these people, you could actually see that extra effort in them to make it happen. We do get clients as well who are pressured by family. We even have families that will make promises to the clients. If you change, I'm going to give you a vehicle. If you change, I'm going to give you a house. And the clients would come in, they give them some type of incentive. The client would come in and they would tell you, well, I'm just doing it for my mother. Or I'm just doing it because my brother tell me I have to do it, or they will put me out of the house. And what you get, usually these clients would not take the program serious. However, even we still appreciate them being in the program, because they may come, you know, but somewhere along the way they would understand that it is not about your family, it is about you wanting that change. So even if they were forced into the program, even if they came in and they were unwilling, we have seen clients who came in, but before leaving, they would actually thank us for not giving up on them, even if they said that they were not ready, even if they did things just to try to push us away, but at the end they would be very thankful. So we do not give up on anyone, whether it is your family trying to get you in there, whether it is you saying I am ready, whether it is your workplace telling you that if you do not quit, this is it, you're going to lose your job. We accept everyone, because the program that we have, we believe that within this time, it is possible that we can meet you where you are and see how we could help you change along the way.
Understood. And Mrs. Stephen, would you be able to maybe give us an example, or you know, a comprehensive review of what a program would entail?
Okay, so a program for clients struggling with substance use, alcohol dependence, we would have to look at a holistic program, right? So yes, there is the rehabilitation process would have a detoxification part to it. The detoxification part is actually the very first process that the client is going to go through. This is usually done under medical supervision, because during that time the clients can become agitated, they can withdraw, they could start have hallucinations. So this detox is done under medical supervision. And after that, then the clients would start the program. The program would consist of, you would have to include counseling. So we have a counselor on board, we have a social worker. The client would also need life skills. We teach them simple little things, communication, how to communicate. We go as far as teaching maybe even cooking and gardening. You know, just simple little things that they may have taken for granted. We even allow them to assist with cleaning their rooms, and at the end of it, they appreciate it. They reach a point where they love cleaning their rooms and certain little things that would help them realize you still have it in you.
Right.
You have the potential. You cannot give up on yourself.
I love that.
Yes, so we also have that medicine part where we have our psychiatric doctors who would come in, and medical doctors as well. They would also be a part of this program. So it's not just one thing. You would have to have all of that together, a holistic approach, and we would also have support groups for them. We have the AA groups, which is Alcoholic Anonymous, and the NA, Narcotics Anonymous. And these groups really provide support, because the support here is past clients or past clients, individuals who have been through it, and they are now saying, I did it and you can do it. I am sharing with you my experience. This is how I did it. And they are there for the clients every step of the way. So it is a holistic approach. There are many things included in the treatment process.
I love that. And what would you say are some of the key benefits of that rehabilitation centers would provide for someone who is maybe on a long-term journey to recovery, Mrs. Stephen?
Yes. Okay. So one of the things is that we need people to understand that treatment is not only about the client, right? There are many benefits. Yes, it's going to benefit the client in the long run. They'll be able to cope properly. They will develop skills. They will better be able to manage their lives. But if effective treatment does not just address the withdrawals or the client, it prepares the client for society, but it also benefits society as well, because this client is now going back out there as a different person. They are now more aware of themselves. They are now more aware of the things that I've been doing before, the way that I've been hurting my family, the things, and they now go back into society aiming to be better individuals. Also, when it comes to their families, I like this part at our workplace when you sit with them and you speak with them, because we have, as much as possible, we try to include the family. It is sad, but sometimes you get some clients who do not have that family support, and somewhere along the way, maybe somebody will step up for them. A friend, sometimes one family member would make that difference. And as long as this person is seated there with them, they get that type of support. So you get yes. So you get that these clients are not just changing their lives for them, but they are also doing it for their families as well. It also benefits the workplaces, and I must applaud that, because what I realize is that lately we have had a few workplaces that would not just give up on the individual, but they would actually refer them to the program, to the point that they would be willing to pay the program for them. So basically they are saying, I am not giving up on you, I am giving you a second chance, right?
That's beautiful.
Yes.
Very commendable.
Yes. And these clients, they come into the program, they go back into the workplaces being a better staff. What you get is that the workplace is not, because when they are under the influence, or they are actually alcohol dependent, and it is out of control, you will agree that it is a loss to the workplace.
True. Productivity.
The tardiness, the productivity, it is a loss. And workplaces are now supporting them by referring them to Turning Point, referring them for assistance, which I think is a plus. So they're coming into treatment. It's not only about them. Yes, there are benefits for them, but there are benefits for the family as well. There's benefit for the society as a whole, and even our nation as a whole will be benefited from it, economic-wise, because if we do not, or if they do not take that step, if the workplaces would not take that step, what you get is some of these clients may end up at the hospital, ER department, off and on, and what happens? It's medical, it's finances to take care of them. So on a whole, our nation is also benefiting.
And then when we think of the stigma, the stigma attached to it, can it also be a major barrier in someone, going or coming to get that treatment or to get that assistance, just because they know how people perceive it, the things that they say, the way we may shun people. Sometimes we say it so loosely, oh, mid drunk, don't play mid no mind, but not even thinking of the impact of just saying something like that.
Yeah. Addressing stigma, and this is what we are doing here this morning.
Yes.
And let me tell you, this is a topic that can go on and on.
True.
Because many people avoid treatment because of stigma. And I think if we start addressing stigma, and if we start, letting people know that alcohol dependence is a health condition and it is okay to get treatment, I believe that this in itself is already a start. But like you said, one of the biggest barriers to recovery is stigma. Many individuals, they delay seeking treatment because of what people think about people with an alcohol problem.
True.
And because of that, they would not want to go to the doctors, they would not want to go to Turning Point because people will see them as, lame, and people would see them as not having that willpower, or people will see them as being a moral problem to society. But these things in itself are basically preventing people from seeking treatment.
Yep.
I think we need to address these situations and let people know that it is okay to seek treatment. It is a health condition. We need to emphasize that it is a health problem, and that it is not that the individual is weak or the individual is irresponsible, but rather it is a problem that they have, and they too, just like somebody with diabetes, someone with hypertension, they too need to seek that medical assistance. But it is only when we start breaking that stigma, then alone I think more people will step out and say, I need help. But because of the way that we have already looked at these individuals with substance addiction and substance issues, they now are afraid to come out in the public and say, I need help, I need assistance. We need to make it so available that people will come for the assistance just as people would go to a doctor for assistance. Because the earlier we tackle the problem, the more effective it will be. The better it will be for the individual and for us as well.
Very important. And I'm happy you said that, Mrs. Stevens. And I think the stigma is definitely the strongest barrier. And I think, if we take stock of ourselves as individuals, we maybe also understand that I think we support a sort of double standard way. We shun people who we feel like, okay, this person is drinking too much, and they lash out. But then we get into social settings, and I always say this, we get into social settings, and the easiest thing to do, the fastest thing to do is to offer somebody a drink. Yeah, let me buy a round. It's like, I go out, I'm like, offer me a plate of food instead, Or you go, you make the conscious decision to yourself, I'm not drinking today, but then sometimes your friends or people you don't even know, they make you feel like, well, if you're not drinking, you can't hang out with us. Or I'm not buying no non-alcoholic drinks for anybody, it's alcohol alone. And for me, I've had experiences like that. I'm not a heavy drinker. I know like a little of something and I start to feel tipsy. So I know how to control. I try my best to control what I take. But you go out and people just, it's okay, 5 for 20, and they just bring in, sometimes you're not even done with a drink and somebody comes and they offers you another one and you're there saying, no, I'm good, and they're like, nah man, take it, drink it. And then Mrs. Stephen, I've had cases where I'm literally like, when they're not looking, I throw in a drink because I don't want it. I know my limit. But then you find other people maybe in that situation because you're just giving it to them. You're just giving them the drinks, and you're not even thinking, okay, maybe that person don't feel like drinking. Can we not go out and not drink? Can I not just be social and have a maybe a shandy that has way less alcohol, or a completely non-alcoholic beverage, without feeling like, oh my gosh, it's such a sin to be, why are you coming out with us and you don't want to drink, or we're drinking tonight. It is a lot. So for me, it's like we shun people when they're going through this or they become alcohol dependent, but then we don't understand that just by our actions we may be pushing them into that level of alcohol dependency, because the easiest thing to offer somebody, offer me an apple, offer me grapes, offer me food. You know, it's
look how accessible alcohol is, right?
That is
At
it.
every occasion in St. Lucia, a baby is being christened or dedicated or whatever we want to call it.
And we have to
And
check
we
that
have
those drinks off that
alcohol.
list, Mrs.
Every
Stephen.
birthday party, we have alcohol. At funerals, we have alcohol. It is so easily accessible, but guess what? It is so hard to get the treatment. We stigmatize the treatment so bad when we know
Exactly.
the effects of alcohol. We know what will happen in the long run. Somebody can just walk into a supermarket and purchase alcohol.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
is cheaper. Some of them are cheaper than the groceries that we need in our cupboards to eat healthy. Right? This is how easy it is to access it. But when it comes to the treatment now, we make it available, we make the alcohol available, but yet still we look down on people when they are looking for. And the sad thing is, there are some people, like I said before I sat in that position, I may have been one of these people. I looked at people with alcohol problems, alcohol dependence, and then you say, but come on, that man needs to be able to control himself.
Right.
Come on, why is his money beating him? These are some of the statements that we make. We make. But we also need to remember that it's some people, alcohol is in their genes and they are not even aware of that. So they're going to think, I'm just taking that one drink without never even knowing what was going on in their family back then, in their generation. Especially now, young people now don't even try to figure out what was going on in my generation.
It's true.
And you just end up taking that one drink, and because it is already in your genes, you tend to
kinda just
become more
unleashes,
dependent.
right.
Yeah, compared to somebody who never had it in their genes. And this is why we say to people, you don't know if you have it in your genes, so just don't take it. You know, just don't take it. But like you rightly said, there are people that will pressure you just one drink. Just one drink. When clients come into us at our rehabilitation center, this is one of the things that we try to encourage them, and some of the skills that we teach them as well, social skills. And we try to teach them to be assertive. When I say no, I mean no. So you have to dramatize it with them. You are offering them a drink, and let me see how you are going to say no. You have to dramatize it. You have to create scenarios, you know, and there are times when you have to be hard with them, just like the client. You have to call them a CC or whatever they would call them. But we have to try to do these things just so they can be more assertive. When I say no, I mean no. Right?
Very true.
But this is what it is. But I am hoping that we can create safe and non-judgmental spaces for people with addiction to alcohol. We need to be able to give them the space to get the treatment that they need.
I love that you said that, Mrs. Stevens. And we just have to take a really quick break. Again, a very important topic today, alcohol treatment, breaking the stigma. Remember, annually, October 2nd is recognized as World's No Alcohol Day. The theme this year is Enjoy More. And we're telling you to enjoy more moments, more alcohol-free moments where you remember, you know, sometimes you drink. I remember just before we take the break, Mrs. Stephen, I remember having this one experience where I went out with and we have some very nice cards as well that we're sharing on social media. So make deeper memories free from alcohol. And so funny because I remember a long time ago with some friends and family, and we ended up playing cards for shots, and I wasn't good at the card game, and so once you lose, you have to take a shot. But honestly, I think the shot was like a bottle, and the most eye-opening experience for me is a photo that I saw after of myself playing cards, and like the number of bottles that I had by me. And I'm like, wait, you're telling me I drank all of that? And then what also struck me at that moment was that there was a portion of the evening that I could not remember up to a day like today. I cannot remember from the last game I played to, because we stayed at a hotel, so from the last game I played to how I got to my bed. I know I woke up in my room. I was fully clothed. I woke up with a hangover.
So you
but
see how easy it is for young people to be date raped and drugged.
Exactly,
and so
Mrs.
many
Steve. And I
things.
was just happy that I was in the presence of people that I trusted and my family were there. So, I could not, and I'm telling you, like today, I just cannot tell you, I can't remember getting into my room, going into the bed. I have no recollection of that. I just know from whatever moment I was playing the game, we were playing the cards, and the next morning I woke up. And I think that was the biggest eye-opener for me. And I said to myself, I never want to experience that again. Wake up, the room is spinning, we're driving back up, they have to stop, I'm throwing up. I said to myself, I never want to experience not knowing, having no memory of how I got to the bed. It was the scariest thing for me, because I'm like, God forbid it happened with people who I didn't know, or maybe I thought I knew them and I trusted them, and anything could have happened. And I just cannot understand how that memory is completely gone.
Wow.
No clue.
I really appreciate you sharing
no
that.
clue.
I really appreciate you sharing
that. It was
that.
so scary for me,
because I would wish that young people were actually listening to that, so at least they will understand what can happen during that time when you were not aware of your surroundings.
It was so scary. So, I know it happened. I know we were playing cards. I got into the bed, but there's just this, it's a complete blackout, nothing. And I was just like, why don't I remember? Why can't I see what? Nothing, absolutely nothing. And that for me was a key eye opener back then. And so, I know that I don't want to feel like that. I don't want to experience that. So with that being said, we'll just take a quick break. Of course, when we come back, we're still sticking with Mrs. Stevens, who took time out of her busy schedule to come and speak to us about, breaking that stigma and alcohol treatment. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Now you can have your deaf announcements and telebituaries heard on Sundays, right after the church service with Father Albert from the Babano Good Shepherd Catholic Church. That's right. On Sundays, have your deaf announcements and telebituaries heard right here on Hot 7 TV and Kiss FM simultaneously. Call 452-6040 from Monday to Friday. Call and make arrangements for your deaf announcements and telebituaries to be heard at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. Monday to Saturday, and on Sunday right after the church service with Father Albert from the Babano Good Shepherd Catholic Church.
We are working parents,
and we breastfed both babies exclusively.
Moi fais 6 chiches, moi ba yo tout tete ki yo tout ni bon sevel.
Mother's breast milk is naturally the best milk for baby. Love yourself and love your baby.
We were breastfed and we are healthy.
Breastfeeding saves me money and it's free.
Every moment I breastfeed strengthens the bond between me and my baby.
I breastfed twin boys and lost all my baby fat.
We were breastfed.
And we have breast milk power.
I am Pastor Alvin, and I support breastfeeding.
For more information, call the Nutrition Unit of the Ministry of Health and Wellness at 468-5359.
And welcome back to the Wellness Hour. Again, we're observing globally World No Alcohol Day, and we have our expert program lead from the Turning Point Treatment and Rehabilitation Center joining us, Mrs. Steven, and she's been giving us a wealth of information about alcohol treatment and breaking the stigma. And of course, we spoke about the stigma and how it can, hinder and affect and just completely stop someone from seeking treatment that they need so much. And Mrs. Stevens, I wanted to touch on recovery, recovery. When we say the recovery, is it possible? Can we, can you really be recovered, so to speak?
Okay, so recovery is a process, and we need people to understand that. A process basically means it is not something that happened now for now.
True.
Now, what you get is that people would look at some individuals going through rehab, trying to better themselves, and the minute they fall back, we call it relapse.
Okay.
The minute they would relapse, or the minute they would fall back a bit, we would be quick to criticize them and say, oh, they said they work on themselves, and look at them. But recovery is a process, and if you speak with people who have been through it, they will tell you that some persons would admit that for some of them it took about 6 attempts before they could have become fully recovered. And even now, they see themselves as being 20 years sober, 30 years sober, but they would still not interfere with alcohol or go in a place where there is alcohol. This is how easy it is for them to relapse. So somebody coming into rehab and they relapse, we cannot criticize them because they are still going through the process. It may happen once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 before they actually get themselves to the place where they want to be. But you can believe me, every step of the way they are learning something new. They learn something that they did not learn the very first time. So it is a process, it is possible. I know people who have been over 35 years sober, and they will tell you that they are still in the recovery process. Why? Because they know it is likely, it is possible that they can relapse. So it is a process. It's not that I'm fully recovered and I'm at it and I've reached the top of the mountain and it's not for me anymore. No, they tell you, I am a recovering addict. This is how they see themselves. Going through the process. So it is possible with the right support, the right help, the right assistance. It is support. It is possible. But I think one of the things that we too need to understand, just as we discuss diabetes, just as we discuss hypertension, just as we discuss asthma, we need to discuss alcohol dependence the very same way.
True.
Tackle it, discuss it, just like we would discuss any other health condition. And when we start doing that, then people will come to understand that, you know what, it is a health condition, people need the help that they need. If somebody were to ask me, how can we stop the stigma? And I'm not saying that it's something that is going to stop in a year or 2 years. It is something that we have to work on. But the fact that we are now aware that there are stigmatizing language that can prevent people from getting the assistance. Now that we are aware of that, we need to ask ourselves, what part can I play in ensuring that I use the right language? Okay? So we now have to start discussing it. How do we tackle it? I will say by discussing it. We need to stop it. We need to protest against it. We need to address it. We need to educate people about it. And let's just not sit there. Now, let me take this thing a little further. I'm not sure how much time we have left, but let me take this thing a little further. Because there are times when even within our profession, as professionals, we too use some languages that is stigmatizing, and we are unconscious of it. Okay? But now we actually have trainings, and we have the World Health Organization, and we have a list of phrases that we once used, and now we can replace it with better languages or better phrases to make the clients more comfortable. When we were ignorant, But now that we are given the information, let us use it as much as possible to try to make them comfortable, just as we make our other citizens who are seeking medical assistance comfortable. We need to watch our language. Even us as professionals, there are still some things that we say. And sometimes it's only after I say it, I'm like, whoa, I need to check myself. But yes, there are certain languages that would actually stigmatize our clients and our individuals.
Well said, Mr. Stevens. And for you, what would be, a call to action for anybody, any one of our viewers watching, or if they know somebody who is struggling with alcohol misuse or the alcohol dependency, what would you say should be their very first step?
The first thing I would say to someone struggling is to reach out. Reach out, okay? If you need the help, put yourself first. Reach out. You need the assistance, take that step of courage. We have people who have walked into the rehabilitation center on their own and they say, I need help. I cannot go on. Reach out. But I'm also encouraging families, communities, to speak with them and let them know there is support, because sometimes when they are already at that point, they are not even aware that there is help. There are many people in St. Lucia who are not even aware that there's a rehabilitation center.
Very true.
You know, sometimes maybe even the finances attached to it can, you know, be a hindrance to them getting the service as well. But the first thing I would encourage them is to reach out, speak with someone in your community, go to the wellness centers in the community and speak with the nurses, speak with them and let them know that I need help, I want to change my life, and they can probably guide you as to how you go about. But I would also encourage our medical professionals, doctors, nurses, when you come across these people, when they come into the hospital, the health centers, you can encourage them, let them know that there is help available, that they can go to Turning Point, let them know that there is treatment available. This is the first thing that I would ask them to do, but I would also ask our families, communities to assist and reach out on their behalf as well.
Well said, Mrs. Stevens. And today, again, World No Alcohol Day, and the theme, you know, enjoy more. And Mrs. Stevens, would you want to leave a message in terms of the theme, you know, enjoy more, you know, making deeper memories free from alcohol? Do you think that we can start to make the small steps and small changes where we start to, you know, enjoy more moments without alcohol, without the need for alcohol?
I've seen it. I have seen the difference in people who came into the rehabilitation center and now they are enjoying more. They are enjoying more with their families, they are thankful, they enjoy more at their workplaces, you know, and I think this is a very appropriate theme, enjoy more, because after you have reached that point where you take that step and you actually seek that assistance that you needed, you actually enjoy more for true. You start seeing life differently. You start saying, wow, this is what I was missing out all along, you know. But I think everyone should try their best to enjoy more. We all want to enjoy more. It is possible. It is quite possible to enjoy more. I just need them to remember that relapse does not mean failure. If you have tried before and you relapse, it does not mean failure. It means that it is part of recovery. There is still hope. There is hope, and you can get the assistance that you need. There is support. And at Turning Point, the thing is, when you come to Turning Point and you leave, you become a family to Turning Point. So even if you are no longer with us, we still reach out to you. We still check on you. We still support. The AA group will still support you, you know. So you're family to us. We are asking you to reach out. And I'm also encouraging our community, our families, to provide them with that support, because it is a health condition. Some people actually go through trauma and they're using alcohol to bury it. This is another topic by itself, trauma, because we have come across a few of our clients, and when you work with them and they start getting that counseling, they would cry like babies, because they now start understanding what they went through, what they suffered, and they bury it, and they keep using alcohol to keep burying it all the time. So let us support them. We don't know what they have been through. We don't know what caused them to be where they are right now. It is a health condition. Let us support them. Let us love them. There is hope.
Well said, Mrs. Stevens, and I want to applaud you and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us on this very informative topic and on this very important day. To you and your team, keep doing the amazing work, and just hearing the way that you speak, I know that, you know, the program is holistic, it is comprehensive, and you can hear that there definitely is the support needed for anyone who is experiencing this. So thank you so much, Mrs. Stevens. It was an absolute pleasure. Any information you want to get out there, be sure to share it with us on the Wellness Hour.
Oh, I would just love to let them know that they can reach out to Turning Point at 456-6500. Yes, they can. They just ask them to put them onto Turning Point. We are available. I did have okay, I'll give you some information that you could actually post online for them.
No problem.
Yes, but you can reach out to Turning Point. You can also reach out to the Wellness Center, and even through the emergency department. As long as you are the emergency department and you feel you need that help, just speak with the doctors. They too can give you a referral, written referral that you can take across to Turning Point. And even with the Wellness Center, they too can also give you a written referral that you can take across to Turning Point. And even if you walk in and you do not have a referral, we still assist you.
There you go.
So we are open, our doors are open. We have a 24-hour shift program, and actually our residential program is for 6 weeks. Yes, 6 weeks. The first week is for detox. And after that, the rest of the week, we are now working with you. The rest of the 5 weeks, we work with you. There's a payment plan. If you are not able to pay everything. Yes, we have a lot of our community reps who are actually assisting the people within the community.
Wow.
And I have to applaud them for that. The community reps, when we refer the clients to them, they assist that the best that they can.
Wow.
We have the workplaces that are actually sponsoring the clients, and they would the staff. And we want to applaud these workplaces.
Yes.
So I think St. Lucia is getting somewhere. We just have to keep providing that support for our people with alcohol and substance addiction.
Definitely. And remember to break the stigma.
Remember to break that stigma.
Awesome. Again, thank you so much, Mrs. Stevens. And just before we wrap up, I just want to remind you viewers, October is recognized worldwide as Breast Cancer Awareness Month as well, and is a time dedicated to increasing awareness, promoting early detection, and supporting individuals and families affected by breast cancer. This year, under the theme, Embrace Your Whole Self, Check Your Lemons, we are encouraging everyone to prioritize self-care, regular screenings, and open conversations about breast health. And how can you show support? Well, every Friday in October, wear pink, any clothing, wear your badge, wear your pin. So wear pink every Friday in October to stand in solidarity with survivors and those battling breast cancer. Also, encourage your family and friends to do their monthly self-examinations and share any educational resources to spread awareness in the community. And we're also encouraging you to take part in the Bra Melee pop-up health screening activity, which will take place next Saturday, October 11 from 10 a.m. at the Bougainvillea Conference Room at the Bay Gardens Hotel in Rodney Bay. Again, that is an amazing activity, so you can go out. There will be a lot of health checks and health screenings. And also reminding you, from tomorrow, please wear something pink in recognition of Breast Cancer Awareness Month and standing in solidarity with survivors and with family members who have been affected by breast cancer. This is why I wrap up and sign off from the Wellness Hour for today. We want to thank you so much for joining us, viewers. Thank you to our guest, Mrs. Stevens. Thank you to the team at Hot 7 for their great work, and I'll see you guys next Thursday. Hope you have a wonderful Thursday afternoon.
Hot 7 TV is the rising star of television in St. Lucia with our stunning 100% HD quality, fresh exciting programming, including a balanced professional newscast. We are now the fastest growing TV station in all time slots on cable. Additionally, over 10,000 households carry our plug-and-play antennas. Our mobile app has over 11,000 users locally and over 300,000 users worldwide. Keyword to find our free app in the App Store is Caribbean Hot FM. Swipe once for and twice for Hot 7 TV. It's compatible with both Android and Apple handsets. Go ahead, share the app, and share the most talked about TV station in St. Lucia. Hot 7 TV, for the viewer and the advertiser. It just makes sense. We watch trending. Hot 7 TV. Catch us on channel 117 Flow, Channel 7 Plug and Play or our website www.caribbeanhot7tv.com and our popular Hot FM app.